But it is not a good one. More than 47 million Americans on food stamps in the month of December. A new Department of Agriculture report showing in 2012 the food stamp program was the biggest it has ever been. Why? Is it because of greater need or because the government has made such a mess of it? Former presidential candidate Herman Cain joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you, Greta. Happy to be here.
All right, sir. So why has food stamps, the programs, exploded, my word, in terms of numbers? Is it because more people are hungry and needy and we're reaching them, or because the federal government has made a mess of the program?
Because the federal government has made a mess of the program by exploiting the program and exploiting those people who have learned how to abuse the program. The food stamps program, Greta, is a misnomer with two words, food and stamps. It's no longer just about helping people to get food. It helps them to get free stuff. And secondly, because some bureaucrat thought that people going in and handing in stamps was somewhat insulting, they now have given them a government credit card. And I found this out today, Greta, on my radio show. A guy called in who said he owns fitness centers. The government has even allowed food stamp recipients to use their cards for fitness training programs. So the problem starts with the exploitation on the part of government, because ideologically they want as many people dependent upon the government as they possibly can.
All right, so what do we do? Certainly some people have needs. Some people are hungry, need food stamps.
Yes.
And you say for some it just helps them get free stuff. What are you going to do about those that just want it for the free stuff, don't need it, and how do you define those people?
You start by using the correct narrative. We don't need to reform the food stamps program or the SNAP program. We need to restructure it. If you restructure it such that the bureaucrats at the USDA don't have the ability to just open it wide open to attract people to come to the program, that's what I mean by restructure. Secondly, here's another example. The USDA actually advertises and promotes using taxpayer dollars to try to get people to get on the program. They should have it there for people who truly need it. I don't have a problem with that. No one has a problem with that. The problem is the abuse that takes place that's not being controlled, because many of these governmental agencies, they want to get more and more people on the government dole, because that's another way of buying votes.
All right, well, some staggering numbers. For instance, Texas has the most, numerically, it's a big state, obviously, on the food stamp program, with a 15.5% of their population. The District of Columbia, with a much smaller population, has 23% of Washington, D.C. residents on food stamps. You'd think even in our nation's capital, we have such a tremendous amount of government jobs. What in the world do we have such a high percentage for?
The reason we have such a high percentage is because of the ideological reasoning behind wanting more people on the program as well as other programs, and that is class warfare. When you have an administration and you have liberals and you have Democrats constantly promoting the fact that maybe the rich are not paying enough, even though the top 50% of taxpayers pay nearly 98% of the taxes, they continue to promote this class warfare ideology, so it makes some people who find a way to game the system not feel guilty about it. That's part of the problem, and it's this whole class warfare ideology.
Well, there's sort of another sort of, I don't know if interesting is the right word, but at least something that I think that a red flag against this is that, you know about the fight about the size of sugary drinks in New York State. In 2011, $4 billion, it's estimated, $4 billion in food stamps on sodas and other soft drinks, which I think most of us would think probably isn't particularly good for you, whether you believe in the nanny state or the not nanny state. But I mean, even what's being used for these food stamps, it's not like they're buying that things necessarily are good for you.
And I've had many people, as I said, also call my show and talk about being in line at the grocery store, watching some of the items that people that are on the SNAP program that they are buying. They're buying irresponsibly and at the expense of the taxpayer. I fundamentally, as you know, don't believe in the nanny state or the government trying to tell you how to make those decisions. If obesity is a problem in America, and it is, it should be up to individuals and not up to government. And secondly, taxpayers should not be paying for the crimes of others who decide to eat irresponsibly or do anything else. So I fundamentally don't agree that the government needs to try to do something about every issue that we have in this country. People have to take self-responsibility.
All right.